Fellow South Africans, there is something huge is about to happen in this country. And I'm telling you, it's going to catch us off guard. And the reason why it's going to catch us off guard is because we are divided. The people that are going to show us flames, they are organizing, others are organized while we continue to divide ourselves along patriotic lines. Patriotism to some people, it is based on, oh, I travel the world. You South Africans, these are fellow South Africans, by the way. You South Africans, you need to travel. You need to open your mind and experience the world. And then how does that help us with our patriotism when our very country is being taken from underneath our feet? The countries that you travel to, how did you get there? What were the rules in the visa? So it's okay for the countries that you travel to or you're traveling to or even probably working there, giving you very strict rules what to do and what not to do. But South Africa, no. Utela wayek. Do you realize that you don't love your country? Well, me, I've always put it this way in my head, or at least this is what my head tells me. The people that are against what South Africans are doing to take back their country, most of them are not even fully South Africans themselves. They are speaking on behalf of their foreign father or foreign mother. In most cases, foreign father. Those who got into the country with a visitor's visa and they never left. And now their offspring, literally, they are springing up against us and then they call us names in the name that they are South Africans. I cannot, for the life of me, believe anybody that sets up a camera and speaks against much and much, that speaks against South Africans saying, hey, can we for once get to enjoy our country undisturbed? Those people are not South Africans. They are the kids of those men that came here in 2010 and never left. You can never convince me otherwise because there's no patriotic South African in any of our nations that we have in this country, whether that is the Xhosa nation or the Zulu nation or the Venda nation or the Tonga nation. None of them will do that. But then again, during the days of apartheid and struggle, and if you've watched Sarafina, before you say Sarafina, listen, art imitates life. Sometimes the things that you see in the movies, sometimes things that you see in soapies, they are inspired by real life. And then they are compacted into a movie, a series, or whatever the case might be. Remember Crocodile? Every time when I see a South African that speaks against South Africans, I always remember Leleti Khumalo with Crocodile. I think that was, I can't remember. I think it was Chester. Where she looked at him after being discovered that Uyimpimpi. And she asked this question, I can't use her voice, but her question was, why crocodile? Why? So, of course, some of these people who are half South Africans may never understand what that means. But a pure South African knows who Crocodile was and what happened to Crocodile. And I'm not saying anything in the sort of what really happened to Crocodile. This is South Africa. Once the foreign nationals have left the country, as we say they are going to go, and there are opportunities, companies, you might open a business someday, and you will want us to support your business. We will look at you directly in your eye and ask you, why? Why did you stand against us? That means in South Africa, you will never succeed. In whatever endeavor you take, you are not going to succeed. Why? Because you sold us off while we were busy struggling and fighting the struggle. Why crocodile? That is a very significant question when you are in a battle like this one, because not everybody are going to be in favor of what we do. Whether you do it peacefully or you are doing it violently, you will always have a crocodile. Crocodile will take information because crocodile wants to be liked, wants to have some proximity because a crocodile is a pygmy. There are consequences of being a crocodile, especially in the 21st century, because we cannot go collect tires. All we do is wait for an opportunity for you. Maybe you want to be a top billing presenter. Look what happened to Ndoisile. That's Ndoisile, crocodile. Why crocodile? Why do you insult us and tell people of a Tembisa they are crowding Mall of Africa? And then when we are taking to the streets and saying nobody that does not pay taxes in our country will enter a clinic, and then he comes and say these pills are free. NGOs are the ones that bring these pills here. Why in South Africa? Why not in Zimbabwe? South Africa can handle itself. Remember, last year, Donald Trump, he pulled away US aid. Over $400 million. Did we fall flat on our faces? No, we didn't, because we got a very vibrant tax-paying system in this country. Others are calling us to be sanctioned. But if you do sanction us, clearly you don't know our history, how we kept our heads above water during the days of apartheid. Here we are. We exist today. So at the end of the day, crocodile, your day is coming too. Like the say goes, every dog has its day. Now, coming back to what I was saying earlier, I think there's something big that is being planned against South Africans. And these people are organizing. Just this past weekend, a Somali king was installed at the conference center in Sandton. And Tulas on TikTok, she warned, she begged, she screamed on the mountaintop and said, go check if this is legit. Ngizwe Mchunu went there, and some couple of other South Africans went to that conference center in Sandton, and indeed, it was happening. That is what you call organizing. Now, before I'm going to complete this point, but I need to go somewhere with our government. So you guys, number one, South Africa is a constitutional democracy. As a constitutional democracy, aren't we supposed to be consulted with before any decision is taken? We need to have public hearings. We need all of these things. What made you think that the people of South Africa were not going to use their Ubuntu? When you came and presented the Somali issues, why Somalians need to be taken into South Africa as refugees, why didn't you consult us so that we can make informed decisions? Listen, we would have welcomed them anyway. Why? Because we are a welcoming nation. We wouldn't have said, no, go build them a refugee camp somewhere. We said no. They are part of us. They are part of Africa. They are our brothers and sisters. Bring them, and we were going to have beautiful relationships as we've had with others for the past 32 years. Now, coming back. Now, when we were asking questions, who are these people and what they are doing here? Government came and said they are refugees. There's a war in Somalia. Okay, we pulled back. We felt sorry for them. So much so that we even supported any business that they endeavored in making. We. So much so that they got so comfortable that any South African that opens their own spaza shop or any other business that's related to businesses that they are conducting in South Africa, that South African must be unalived. That's how comfortable they got. And that's, if you've read the history of Troy, in case you don't know what that is, there's a metaphor in that book. And the metaphor is the horse. So the city of Troy, of course, was having a war. I'm not going to give you the whole shebang. You need to go and read the story yourself. So there was a war. And then one king thought, let's be smart to win this war. Let's pass over an olive leaf to our opponent, our enemy, the city of Troy. And so how they're going to do this, they are going to gift them with a wooden horse. And then the city of Troy, when they heard that, they thought they'd won the war. Just like somebody I know, every time will come to the cameras and say, we won the war. And the other side is like, which war? But anyways, we are not there. So the other king said, can we send you a gift as a sign of peace? And the city of Troy king said, you do you, boo. We'll accept that gift. Indeed, a huge, almost like a skyscraper size of a wooden horse was driven into the city of Troy. While the city of Troy was asleep, the horse came alive. Inside the horse were soldiers. They decimated everybody in the city of Troy. Now, why am I giving this example? And I'm saying something big is about to hit us and we are not ready. There are a couple of Trojan horses in South Africa. Some of them are even creating videos and saying, hey, South Africans, peace, we made a mistake. Let's talk. Let's start this all over again. Trojan horse. Coming from the very same community, the Somali community that installed a king on the 17th of May, 2026. While we are asleep. Now, this is proverbial sleep. It's not real sleep. We are sleeping, basically, that's what I'm saying. Like, we are sleeping. We will wake up one morning with our throats. Sharia law installed in South Africa. Constitutional democracy cast away. You'll be forced to call yourself Mohammed, Abdul, etc. and so on. Our women, yeah, the one that twerks. I want to see you twerk in a covered, only your eyes are only showing. I want to see you twerk, because the moment you twerk and you are seen twerking, you are going to be taken to the center court. They will dig a hole that is only going to be covering up until your neck. And you know what they're going to do to you, my sister? They're going to stone you. Simply because as you were wearing that thing with your natural booty, they would have thought you were twerking, seducing men. Simply because of the walk. You know how our South African women and their posterior, you would think they're twerking when it's just a walk. They will get rid of each and every one of you. These people are organizing. You know what they're organizing to do? To take over. When they are a unit, you know what gives them the strength? It's numbers. We don't know what their numbers are. And you have to go back to government. When you told them, come to South Africa for asylum, how long did you give them to stay here? Because as far as I understand asylum and refugee status, it's not forever. There has not been a war in Somalia in over a decade. No war. There is no reason for any Somali to be in South Africa today. No reason for any Somali to be in South Africa today, let alone installing kings and organizing themselves, because this is the goal. Why we now have a king. This king is going to be the person that our government will have to meet. And he will have a list of demands. We have been in South Africa for X number of years. Now you need to look into our laws. All our laws can be played in South Africa, let me tell you that. If you've lived in South Africa as a foreign national for at least 5 years, under this current Immigration Act, you are eligible for permanent residency. Without marrying a South African citizen, you are eligible for permanent residency. These people have been in South Africa, I'm talking about the Somalis, for more than a decade. So that means that eligibility status is now no longer constitutional. It is now unconstitutional. See the ground they are coming to the courts with? We've been in South Africa for X number of years, and this is the list of people that have been in South Africa for the past 15 years, 10 years, 5 years. And these people, probably they are in their millions, if not hundreds of thousands, they are eligible to become permanent residents. What do you think the Constitutional Court is going to do? How do you think the Constitutional Court is going to rule? The Constitutional Court is going to use our very own immigration law and said, because it hasn't been amended, it's still a white paper. And this white paper is still going to be turned into a green paper, if I'm not mistaken, and argued in Parliament. And then it is going to be decided upon. As you know, our president, whenever a bill is ready to be enacted, he sits on the bills for months, sometimes even years. What does that give the Somalis? It gives them space, it gives them time to actually go through the Constitutional Court process. And the Constitutional Court, its hands are tied because of our immigration law that says eligibility for permanent residency is 5 years. Boom. Document all of them into permanent residence. Now, suddenly South Africa has a new nation, an addition to the 12 official languages. Do you think when the Constitutional Court grants them their prayer, they are now going to demand that Somali be enshrined in the Constitution as the 13th language, an official language for that matter? Secondly, will they not fight to have their own political parties and contest for elections? No. I don't know if you see the Trojan horse coming alive. You don't see it? You see it? Do you see why the ANC gotta go right now? Right now, we need to start with the president of the ANC. That's Cyril Ramaphosa. The other on TikTok, I spoke about the time is now and ripe for the people of South Africa to do what we did in 2017. When I say we, I'm using the royal we, where the former president, Jacob Zuma, remember, Zuma must go, Zuma must go. Maybe it's about time we did the same thing to Cyril Ramaphosa, because Cyril Ramaphosa is sitting on his ears when it comes to illegal foreigners. This poster, it ought to have been caught by the intelligence of this country. And the intelligence ought to have gone to this inauguration and put an end to it. You know why they should have done that? Because its minister, Miss Chabedi, I don't know how to pronounce her surname. One day, she took to the podium and said, people that are in South Africa, that are not South African, you are a visitor here. There is no way that you are going to be installing kings and installing this, and that's disrespect, and it's also provoking the people of South Africa. I'm paraphrasing. So as a minister of intelligence, don't you think that what happened in that conference center in Sandton was provoking the people of South Africa? Why haven't you stopped it? And secondly, and I ask again, how long are Somalis have to stay in South Africa? There's no war in Somalia. They are comfortable and they are planning, they are plotting, they are organizing. And one day, let's not forget, they got experience. Some of them, probably they're running away from Somalia because they're facing heinous crimes they committed there, or ran away from Al-Shabaab, the terrorist group. The experience they have. We are not ready. And I've said this before. One day is back Siokala on South Africans. Siokala is back because we are not trained. Back in the days of apartheid, only white Afrikaner boys, white people, the moment you turned 18, you had to join the army. They know how to shoot a pew-pew and trap and do all that stuff. No black South African was ever taught that. Those that were taught, they are in their 70s from Umkhonto weSizwe. Others are in their 80s. Can you put together a bill? Can you do that? Can you dismantle a No, you can't. So here's my foresight. It's going to start with instilling fear in us. How? Yeah, you're going to hear there was an explosion here, and there was another, or maybe twin explosions or multiple explosions in very key areas of our country. Because in order to capture people, you capture them at their weakest, at their most vulnerable. And then you know what you're going to do? They are going to send out help because they are organized. The moment there's an explosion somewhere, they'll be the first there with aid, food, medicine, you name it, to gain your trust. Maybe I read too many books on war, The Art of War, Tale of Two Cities. There is many. And they are happening to us in real life, and we are sleeping. Why crocodile? Crocodile, why? Fellow South Africans, this video is meant to open our eyes. We need to peel our eyes. But in order for our eyes to see, Ramaphosa must fall. The media of this country, they are making sure that Ramaphosa is protected. We had one job and one job only on the 11th of May 2026. When Ramaphosa took to the podium and said, I ain't going nowhere because of the Constitutional Court and its decision on Parapara. We had one job on the 12th of May, taking to the streets and say, hang on a minute, you seem to believe that we support you. We are with you. We want to work with you. We did not do that. I know there are going to be some people that say, but Clantis, why did you lead this? I am not a leader. I will put that. And I have said it before. If I ever took leadership, I would burn it all down and rebuild it myself if I have to. That's me. That is me. But unfortunately, we do have leaders. In what they are doing to them, they're trying to break them. They are pulling out things that have absolutely nothing to do with what we are busy with, all because they want to make sure that this comes to an end. Who benefits? Who will benefit when South Africans are under attack by Somali community in a very near future? Who is protecting South Africans against Nigerians? Oh, did you see? Kukompo. And people of Kukompo, they were told they were wrong, and yet, did you see Cutting Edge? South Africans, we have multiple Trojan horses. They are sending our way. And some of us, and there was another Somali that came out to say, South Africans, be nice to foreigners. And then in my head, I said, in the past 32 years, what have we been doing? There is no nation on this planet that is as patient as the people of South Africa, and the things that you had to endure and go through, and still to go through as long as these people are here. The most enduring, sometimes you might even accuse us of being stupid. Probably we are. Probably we are, because that's what they see. Had we been strong and steadfast, that king would not have been installed in Kukompo or Sandton. Would never. These people would respect us. They would hold the line. They will follow the law to the T. And when time came, as it already overdue for the Somalis, they would have long gone home. There's no war in Somalia. As I said earlier, I'm sorry. They're going to have a list of things. Some of the things that they are going to demand for is their own schools, their own universities, built by who? Yeah, you and me, taxpayers. They will be folding their arms and saying, "Oh, we are South Africans now. You do it." And sooner or later, we are going to start seeing, how do I put this without YouTube? We're going to start seeing beheadings. You know what a beheading is? In public, that's how they do it, to send a message. You do not mess with us. It's Sharia law. It allows them. Few days ago, a 13-year-old girl was forced onto by a Somali. The Somali said, "But I did not do anything wrong." He's right. He's right that because in Somalia, a 13-year-old girl is a full-grown woman. So in his country, he's correct. As awful and evil that might be, in South Africa, it is rape. And even if the girl was his girlfriend, that's statutory rape. It's a law. He did not see what he did wrong. Do you see the danger that if this plan works, we are facing and our children? You don't run away from your country, you say. I'm telling you, we will be having Ghana must go bags on top of our heads, going directly south-south. We're going to have to adjust to ice because we're going to have to invade Antarctica. Because if we go north, nobody wants us. They hate us. And exactly what they always wanted, they'll be celebrating. South Africans have fallen. And you keep voting, my God. You keep voting for the same old. They are the reason why we are here. Maybe until you see that attack I'm talking about. It starts with one before upepetega, becoming more and more and more and more. We will live in fear. Maybe it needs to happen so that abanye benu, crocodile, ivuke emaqandeni. Being a South African is exhausting. There is no nation on this earth that is exhausting as us. I love us. I love my country and her people. But sometimes I just have to wonder what's inside here. Your accommodation, what does it logicalize? How do you analyze things? Those are the questions I ask myself every day. And as I've said before, our education system was dumbed down. It was creating one thing and one thing only: voting cows. Everything else, how dare you become a critical thinker? How dare you ask questions? Our education system is producing products that don't ask critical questions. If you're not going to ask critical questions, that means intellectually you are incapacitated for complex issues such as where we are today. Lack of critical thinking, and they made sure that critical thinking, it is taken out of the curriculum. I don't know. You see it. You see it with content creators on YouTube. You see it with some content creators here on TikTok. On TikTok and other platforms. They will throw a topic and they will have a intellectual piece. And then when you engage the intellectual piece, the lights go off because you are asking critical questions. They were coming here to show off how well they speak. Even if you can even say the same thing about me. But I'm going to tell you one thing about me. I'm not speaking on something that I've sucked out of my thumb. I am talking about reality that we are facing on a daily basis and how I see the future. The future of this country is bleak. We are going to get hijacked if we are not already in the process of getting hijacked. You will be a foreigner or at least a second-class citizen in your own country. I want to leave this video here. This is food for thought. What are we going to do with the Trojan horse? Horses. Are we accepting this gift? Because if we do, asleep as we are, the horse will come alive. We will be City of Troy 2.0. Will go down in history books. People might even think it's an urban legend. No, reality. And we would be the one responsible in handing over our country. Because all crocodile, they are ready also to give our country away. Anyways, let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? What do you see? What do you foresee? What do you think all this is about? Is it to provoke us? Is it a trap so that the world has an excuse to sanction South Africa finally? What is this? Please use your critical thinking in responding. I will see you some other time. But whatever you do, take care of yourself, take care of your loved one, defend this country with everything you've got. And I mean everything you've got. Goodbye.